And if you are terrified of being upside down in any way, or you're like, I have a pretty solid handstand right now, and I just want to fine tune and tweak that, everybody is welcome to come to it because she's going to do a lot of different skill set work. So if you're interested in that, let me know because we still have space for that. But otherwise, let's get started in child's pose. Spread out your fingers nice and wide. Connect them down into the floor. Let your forehead come down to the mat and let yourself sink down into the floor, like arrive on your mat, which typically takes longer than just child's pose. But the idea of that, of coming in off of whatever you had going on this weekend or today so that you can be on your mat for the next 60 minutes and see what comes up for you. So take a deep breath in and fill yourself all the way up. Big exhale out. 2 more like that. Big inhale. Big exhale. Good. 1 more. Fill all the way up, all the way into your upper back. Empty it out. And start to build your Ujjayi breath. Long inhale with a pause. Long exhale with a pause. Purposeful and intentional breathing to help kickstart the rhythm in the space and the rhythm for those that are practicing at home. Downward facing dog. Keep building the breath. Move it however you need to. With the focus on bringing yourself from your brain down into your physical body. Really curious about how your fingertips are touching the mat, how your feet are showing up on your mat, where your eyes are going. And walk your feet up to your hands, hang in ragdoll. Keep building the breath. You do what you want to do with your arms and your hands. And then let the center of both of your heels settle straight into the floor, nice and heavy. And press into your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Bring your thumbs to heart center. We'll start our practice with 3 big Oms. Set your intention, whatever you'd like to pick. Take a deep breath in together. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, long flat back, high to low push up. Upward facing dog, open up your chest. Downward facing dog, press back. Take a full breath in together. Empty it out. Yeah, purposeful. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more, fill all the way. Empty all the way. Look forward and move, feet to hands. Halfway lift, fold down. Extended mountain, rise up to standing. Look up, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths in, push the air out. Intentional, breathe in, push it back out. Last one. Empty to the pit of your belly. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain, rise all the way up. Stretch your fingertips. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Thumbs down on your exhale. Full breath. Empty out. Last one, fill all the way. Empty all the way. Step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold down. Rise up, extended mountain. Stretch all the way up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breathe in together. Get out. Full inhale. Big exhale. Press your chest to your thighs. One more breath. Exhale completely. Move forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Last sunnae. Rise up to standing. Stretch the sides of your body. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air out. Yeah, look, you're clearing space. You can sigh. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one. Soften your knees. Look forward. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. One breath. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, right side. Step through. You've got one breath to reach up to your fingertips. Low push up on the exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left side. Step through. Single breath. Press and then inhale as you reach. Chaturanga on the exhale. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air out. There it is. Two more like that. Fill. Empty. Last one. Empty it all the way. Step or jump. Halfway lift. Bow down. Chair pose. Way back in your hips. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing inhale. Downward facing exhale. Right side. Warrior one. Step through. Press and look up. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side. Warrior. Step and plug your big toe mounds down. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Big breath out. Like, where are you in your body right now? Breathe in. Breath out. Here and now. One more. Empty completely. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose further back in your hips. Fold. Halfway lift. Low up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one on the right. Take a deep lunge and bring your thigh parallel with the floor. Yes. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Same. Thigh parallel. Squeeze in. Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Good. Two more. In. Exhale. Let the heat build up. One more. Push the air out. Move forward on empty. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Right side warrior one. You got it. Step through. Stretch your body up and out of your pelvis. Low push up. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left side. Step it through. Up and away from the floor. Low push up. Inhale up. Exhale down. Breathe in together. Empty. Two more. Fill. Push the air out. Good. Last one. Clear it completely. Move forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Last sun B. Chair pose. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one right side. Step it through. Lift up and look. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side. Last one on the left. Step, press, look. Low push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Way more down in your body where things are actually happening. Send your right leg straight up and back. Bend your knee, open your hip. Then slow as you can, flip your dog. Let the weight of your leg drag and flip it. Beautiful. Yes, just like that. The foot is quiet when it lands. Of course, three-legged dog is always the option here as well. Then stretch out through your fingertips in the front of your chest. Beautiful. Flip back over, side plank. Plant the right palm, left hand up to the sky. Same thing here. Go for space. Stretch fingertips to fingertips. From the crown to your heels, reach those 4 points away from center. Last breath in, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Send your left leg up to the sky. Bend your knee, open the hip. Slow and smooth, let it peel you open and land in the flip dog. Nice. One of my teachers a long time ago used to always say that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So if you're going really fast through everything, you miss bits and pieces of the practice. Flip back over, side plank. What can you discover in each pose as you go a little bit slower through it? Maybe not working extra hard, but having more attention to detail. One more breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take one breath in. Clear it all out. Right side crescent lunge. Attention to detail. So how your feet are set up on the mat, how each toe on your back foot is pressed into the floor. Yeah, how is the front of your pelvis in the pose? How much space do you have in your chest? You've got time for all of those things, and then everyone come lower into your lunging leg. Yes. Press your back thigh further up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Hands to heart center. Twist right. Keep those two pieces intact. The back thigh up to the ceiling and the deep lunge in the front. You can stick with palms together or open up your arms. How's your breathing? Steady, rhythmic. I like these awake hands. Spread out your fingertips if they're not there already. One more breath together. Stay for the exhale. Twist, then unwind. Warrior two. Take up the space on your mat in warrior two, especially if it feels like business as usual. Take a longer stance so you can get into a deeper lunge. Yeah, huge difference. Stay in that lower lunge, extended side angle. Elbow to thigh or fingertips down by your arch. Stay in the lower lunge to keep space and length in your bottom side waist. And if you want to take a bind, go for it. Top arm around your back. Maybe reaching both arms forward is something you're working on in your practice. Lots of different options. Good. Now, whatever you've chosen, breathe. Yeah, just drop right back into it so you can be in the rhythm, in the space, or wherever else you're practicing, and everyone can sync up. One more inhale. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side crescent lunge. Attention to detail so the breath can be along for the ride. And feet can be stable, grounded, straight down into the mat. So more so the center of the front heel than gripping with your front toes. Yeah, so the whole sole of your foot has the opportunity to anchor down. Now deeper lunge in the front leg. Higher thigh in the back leg. Beautiful. Hands to heart, twist left. Palms together, palms apart. Fingertips awake. Front foot still awake, still anchored down into the mat. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. Wring everything out. Warrior two. Take up space and then get settled into your feet. Keep checking in. Does this feel like, oh, I'm kind of doing something, kind of not? Change the pose. Shift something about the pose. Extended side angle. Because that's really the thing. Whether you've been on your mat only a couple of times or you've been on your mat for years, there's always that fine-tuning that comes into play. Take the bind or other arm variation. What will it take for you in this particular pose on this particular Monday night to get everything you need out of this one posture? Last inhale. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in together. Empty it out. Good. 2 more. Breathe in. Breath out. Soften the knees a bit. Last breath in. Fully exhale. Jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose and breathe. Down and back into it. I know most people's not favorite pose to sit and hold and think about. And can you just add the breath in and be along for the ride here? Can you lift and spread your toes and ease the weight, yes, of the pose in that way? Hands to heart twist, right? Stay in it. Committed to a deep squat and a wide open chest. Open your arms. Then keep breathing. A few of you got a little quiet. Just dive right into it. Fully commit to the attention on the breath so it takes the attention out of other places. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair pose. Fold. First 2 fingers around your big toes. I found in my own practice lately, I've kind of been cheating myself a little on chair pose, and I can go a lot deeper, but I hang out higher because it's easier. Something to consider. Set your gaze at the back edge of your mat. And it's not to say that you're not doing the pose, but you could get more out of the pose if you wanted to. This might be a good place to shake out your head or sigh, like whatever you need to do to reset. Release your grip, chair pose, sit down deep. If the overthinking of the chair pose came out of your head and down into your body, what is there to see? Yeah, lifted toes, the weight back in your heels and your hips. Hands to heart center, twist left. Spread your arms apart. Because it's not about making the pose easier, it's about distributing the work across your body, across your breath, so all parts of you are doing a little bit of work instead of one part doing all of it. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Chair pose. Fold. Gorilla. Step on your palms. Toes all the way to your wrists, and you bend your knees a little or a lot to make that happen. Yeah, do you need a sigh? Do you need to sway side to side a little bit? What will it take? Then release your hands. Take crow pose from the head of your mat. Full connection with the fingertips. Actively press your mat away with each one of your fingertips and the edges of your thumbs. Good. Now puff up the space in between your shoulder blades. Make the upper back nice and rounded. Nice, Susan, like that. Yeah, it's like you're pulling in and expanding the upper back. Nice, Jen. One more breath here. Step or jump back. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Big breath in together. Clear it out. Full inhale. Full exhale. Last one. Empty completely. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Rise up to standing. Eagle pose on the right. Take your time landing in the pose rather than just kind of slapping your limbs together and squatting down. Wrap the limbs intentionally. Then lift your chest up and away from the mat. Yeah, so you can stack your shoulders on top of your hips. There's more space. Good. How's your breathing? Switch sides, left side eagle. That same attention, like you did the slow flip dog, do a slow eagle. Yeah, like you're moving underwater. Like you're running along the bottom of a pool. You can only go so quickly. Chest up nice and high, elbows off your chest. Yeah, there you go. Switch sides, right side eagle. Wrap, squat down. Going at a little bit of a slower pace makes the practice really smooth and also gives you better access to breath the whole time. When you're not rushing to get to the next pose, the breath can keep up. Sometimes you need to at some point to catch back up. Switch. You can keep that steady 4-part breath the whole way through. Nice adjustments. I can see when the adjustments that you're making are more mindful because they're a little slower and more thoughtful as opposed to a little bit of flailing and then trying to grab the balance really quick. Standing leg raise, right side. Grab your right raised knee or your extended foot. Pause in the center. Let your right knee or your foot go straight out in front of you. Like you could even put your hand on the inside of your knee and create some resistance there so you know that that knee, that leg is hugging in towards center line. Open to the right, reach and look left. You can adjust your grip wherever it needs to go. Eyes on one spot. And since you've got the attention to detail and the breath going, now you can make micro adjustments to help keep the balance or reset the pose and come back into the balance. Come back to center. Take airplane. Press your foot straight back. Reach your arms straight back behind you. Eyes on one spot and then lift your chest. Yeah, good adjustments. Like you're sending your chest past the front edge of your mat. Half moon, keep the space in your chest. Just take your time taking your hand to the floor, your block. Reach the opposite arm up to the ceiling. And then you make your little adjustments. Flex your lifted ankle and float it up a little higher. Yes, nice, Nima. One more big breath. Slowly come out, both feet to the floor. Good, standing leg raise left side. That same attention. You can have your hand on the inside of your leg if you want to play around with that resistance a little bit. It'll start to light up your inner thigh muscles and maybe even the outside of your hip. Add more breath. Open left, reach and look right. I like all these active feet. That's what happens when you take your time. The whole body can participate in the pose. Back to center. Breath sounds amazing. Airplane. Keep going with the breath. The gaze can stay right where it is, out in front of your mat, and then press your chest forward to meet where your gaze is going. Beautiful. Lots of space, so it's super light. And then it stays super light as you transition to half moon. Keep your eyes where they are. Hand down, opposite hand up. Yeah, you can make the block adjustments you need to, or shift your bottom foot if you need to. There's time. One more breath. Both feet to the floor. Nice descent. Rise up to standing bow or dancer's pose, right side. Grab the inside edge of your ankle or the inside edge of your elbow pointing outward. Tip forward. That same sense of lightness in your chest, like press your chest all the way out the same direction your fingertips are going. Yeah, my watch is going to also give commentary in the background. Switch feet, left side, standing bow or dancers. The downside to gesturing while I'm teaching, my watch is like, yes, let me give my 2 cents about that. All of the weight forward into your chest and then counterbalance by pressing your shin straight back. Light and lifted, wide open across the front side of your body. Last breath. Switch. Right side, second set. If you want to take dancers and switch to a strap, you're totally welcome to do that. Take your pose. Steady rhythmic breath. And once you're all there, you'll stay for 10, 9, 8, keep breathing, 7, 6, 5, 4, you got it, 3, 2, 1, switch sides. Know that you can step out if you need to reset and then just come back to the pose. Get yourself set up, one more. You can take the pause if you need the pause. Stay for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You got it. 3, 2, 1. Feet to the floor. Tree pose, right side. Eyes on one spot. If that last pose got your heart rate up a little bit, that's fine. Just notice that. Keep the rhythm of the breath, and you can choose whatever arm variation you want. No wrong answers with your hands or your arms. Press into your standing foot so you can lift yourself up a little taller. Yeah. Left side tree. Eyes to one point. Choose the same arm variation or something else. And attention to detail. Where's the gaze set? How is your breathing? Last breath. Both feet to the floor. Extended mountain. Reach up to the ceiling. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Step or jump back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side triangle. Step your right foot between your hands. A big step. Then you know if you like a block or you like your hand down on your shin, both are the right answer. And then to start to take up some space. Lots of space between your feet, and then lots of space between your fingertips from hand to hand, foot to foot. Slide your hips a little further back towards the back edge of your mat. Press into your feet, rise up to standing. Side facing wide leg forward fold. Turn both feet to face the long edge and then hinge forward. Yogi's choice tonight on this side. You can take some lunges side to side, take an inversion, get upside down. The fold might be exactly what you need right now, and you stay in that space. Steady breathing. Let it attach to the movement you're making. Press into your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Namaste, front facing forward fold towards the front edge of your mat. Take a bind behind your back, hand to elbow or reverse namaste. Hinge forward. Yeah, we've got some splits going in the room. Great, work on the splits. Same things apply in this forward fold, this pyramid, or this splits pose with the square hips, with a softness in the toes. Yeah, the feet doing the work, toes along for the ride. Eyes set to one point, let them settle. Twisting triangle or twisting split. Twisting triangles, you can definitely have your hand on a block. That'll give you the room you need to have a bigger twist. Steady rhythmic breath. One more inhale together. High to low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot between your hands, triangle. Go for expansion. You've done the work to clear space so you can get fully grounded into your feet. Now big and expansive on top of those grounded feet. Nice fingertips. Y'all's fingertips are really awake tonight. I love that. Use attention to detail. Press into your feet. Rise up. Side facing wide leg fold with a bind. Clasp your hands at your low back. If shoulders feel tight tonight, you can always use a strap or towel between your hands. Keep that bind. And if the bind feels pretty accessible for you, like clasping your hands is not really a big deal, see if you can get your palms to touch. So it might take your hands getting closer back to your hips to start, and then you work them towards the floor. They might not get as close. That's fine. Work on that to increase the stretch in your shoulders, keeping those palms together. Good. Release your hands down, rise up to standing. Namaste, front facing forward fold, or splits facing the front edge of your mat. Work to keep the hips square in the split. So it'll take pulling the right hip actively forward and drawing the left hip actively back. Yes. Might mean that you're higher up from the floor, but the square hips works the muscles in the right way to start opening the split a little bit more. Awesome breath, everyone. Keep that going. Twisting triangle or twisting split. Using the breath as a tool to help you create a bigger twist, regardless of the variation of the pose you're taking. Last breath in here. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog when you get there. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. 2 more. Fill up. Exhale. Last one. Empty completely. Roll out to a high plank. Keep the breath flowing. Keep your knees up or drop them to the floor. Slow as you can, lower your whole body to the mat. Nice and slow. Just as mindfully and slowly, rise up to locust. Peel yourself off the floor. Yeah, attention to detail, right? As long as you can get as you come up and away from the mat. So there's room for breath. Steady and smooth, as if you were just in down dog taking a pause. The same breath here as you make your way through the back bends. One more inhale. Lower down. Rock your hips left and right to release your low back. Locust number 2. Hands stay where they are. You can clasp them behind you. Slow and smooth. Rise up. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Slide tuck to your chin so your neck can be nice and long. Yes, good adjustments. One more breath. Lower down. Hips left and right. Floor bow is next. Floor bow number 1 of 2. Bend your knees and grab a hold of your ankles. Slow and smooth. Rise up and away from the floor. Press your shins straight back and then flex your ankles so the soles of your feet can go straight up to the ceiling. Yeah. Then breathe right where you are. You've made the shape of the pose. It's exactly what it needs to be. More breath. Last inhale. Lower down. Take it side to side. Second set, floor bow number 2. Grab the ankles. Rise up. So there's still this sense of clarity and urgency of going from this pose to the next pose without taking a lot of extra stuff in between. And it can still go slow and smooth. One big breath. Lower down. Side to side. Plant your palms by your lowest ribs. Slowest up dog you've done all practice. Peel yourself away from the floor, bone by bone, until it's just the palms and the tops of your feet. Beautiful. Pressed into the ground. There's a sense of almost like a buoyancy to it, a little bit of a lightness in it. Nice, Ashley. Downward facing dog. Press back. Look between your hands. Step or jump through to sit. Slowly lower your back to the floor for bridge pose. Yeah, we're going slow. Water bottle can definitely happen here. Lower on down to the mat. Bridge pose, rise up. Hips come up as slowly as you went down. Interlace your fingers underneath you. Tuck the shoulder heads underneath you. Breathe here. What would it take if you took the heat and the energy you built to get to the back bends in your practice and made them smooth? Smooth, clean movement. One more breath. Lower down, knees left and right. Wheel number 1, or you can stick with bridge. Tuck your fingertips under your shoulders. Slow and smooth, up and away from the floor. Nice, Delphine. Slow and smooth gives your whole body the chance to participate and work the way that it's supposed to support the pose you're doing. Tuck your chin and come down. Breathe in. Breath out. Number 2, rise up. Bridge or wheel. Slow and smooth. Beautiful. So there's a chain reaction from one muscle group to the next, so the whole pose gets to manifest. Come on down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rise up, wheel or bridge. The stamina gets built up little by little, slow and smooth. So when you do start doing other things in your practice quicker at another point, it's still smooth. Come on down. Breathe in. Breath out. 2 more. Bridge or wheel. Rise up. Press, lift, go. Feet fully connected to the mat. Press your big toe mounds down into the floor. Come on down. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one, yogis. Bridge, wheel, rise up. Full body expression. Out through the front of your chest, out through the front of your shins. Let the whole pose open up. Tuck your chin and come down. Breath in together. Full sigh. Supta Baddha Konasana. You can let your soles of your feet touch together and let the knees drop out. Yeah, a settling. Let your body settle down towards the mat. Keep the breath flowing. Happy baby. Soles of the feet up to the sky. You can grab the edges of your feet or the backs of your thighs. If rocking side to side feels good, do it. If not, hang out in stillness. Legs straight in the air. Set up for scissor legs. Hands under your hips or hands behind your head. We're going to go scissor legs a little bit slower. So lower your right leg, lower it to the floor just enough that you can still keep your low back on the floor. So it'll be different across the room. If it's a little higher or lower than your neighbor, not a big deal. Breathe in here. Switch both legs on the exhale. Just swap them out. Good. Stay. Long, slow breath in. Switch on the exhale. Long and slow. Good. Keep that pace. Keep going for 10. 9. Both legs are switching. 8. 7. Beautiful. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Legs straight up. You can move your hands to under your hips for 30-60 lifts if you need that support. Lower your legs to 30 and then pause right there. 30 degrees to the floor. Squeeze the inner edges of your feet together. Good. Lower 60. This is usually the harder one. Pull the pit of your belly down to the floor. Hug into center line. Lower to hover. You can lift your shoulders. Look at your toes. Press all the way out. Slowly bring them back up. Woof. Okay. Reset. Belly down. Legs straight up in the air. Lower 30. Into center. Keep hugging in. Let your legs help do the work. Lower 60. Inner thighs into center. Lower to hover. Press through the soles of your feet. You got it. Legs slowly back up. Good. One more set of those. Lower 30. Pause. Stay right here. Lower 60. Pause and stay. Lower to hover. Press and spread your toes. Legs back up. Knees into your chest. Good work. Abdominal twist, hands behind your head. Slower than your normal pace. Whatever that means for you, slower than your normal pace. Elbow to opposite knee. Go for it. Yes. So you still might be going a little faster than your neighbor, but you know you're going slower than you normally do when you do these twists. Keep going for 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Flex your ankles. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. You got it. 14, 13. Keep breathing. 12, 11, 10. Almost there. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into your chest. Woo! Rock forward and back up into boat pose, and then land both of your feet on the floor in your boat. So you can have hands out to the side or hands on the backs of your thighs, but 2 flat feet on the floor in your boat. Then sit far enough back in the boat that the lowest part of your abdominal muscles, right below your belly button, has to pull in to keep you upright. Cool. Then you lift your right leg. Doesn't have to be a straight leg. Lower, just lightly tap. Left leg up and lightly tap. Add your breathing. Slow and smooth. If you want to add doing both legs at a time, you can. Don't lose the low belly muscles. Keep pulling them in. Keep going for 5, 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Feet to the floor. Downward facing dog. Make your way there. I do that one with you because it sucks and I know. So like we're just camaraderie, right? We're doing the thing. Right side half pigeon. Right knee to your right wrist. Right thigh parallel with the edge of your mat. And your shin can be parallel. It can be heel back towards your other hip or somewhere in between. Slow, steady breath. Take a scan through your physical body right now. What's actually happening? Not, oh, I do this pose a lot and this is what typically happens. Like right now is what I'm talking about. If you don't do this pose a lot or it hasn't been something you've done frequently, what is there to notice? Different from making an assessment about it, like this is good and this is bad, or that's right and this part's wrong. What do you notice? Keep working the breath. You could use your breath to focus on a spot that feels tighter or more stiff. Send that breath into that space. Steady, rhythmic. Double pigeon. Swing your back leg around and stack your shins. Lots of different ways to do the pose. So you can have the block under the foot, under the ankle, underneath that knee that's up in space. Sit up tall in your spine and see if you can get both of your sit bones, the little bony points in your butt, to go straight down into the mat. If you'd like to add folding forward, do so. Bony points, sit bones straight into the floor. Keep using the breath. It got a little quiet, but it's still here. So that pulse is still here. Downward facing dog. To the left side, half pigeon. Just for tonight, where do your hands need to be in this half pigeon? How does your back foot need to be to get the full experience of half pigeon? Then fine tune. Do the scan. What do you need to adjust? You might find that your back foot is doing a thing that you never really noticed before because you never paid attention to your back foot. Good to know. When the mind has a job to pay attention to specific things in your body as you're moving on your mat, it's a lot harder for the brain to tell you a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter right now. Steady breathing. And double pigeon, opposite leg on top. Tall spine to start, and then fold forward if you're headed there. Steady breathing. Especially if this is where the breath for you in your practice starts to drop off a little bit or it gets a little quieter, it's not so intentional, definitely bring it back in. Frog pose or seated wide leg fold is next. Seated folds, legs nice and wide as wide as they feel comfortable, and then toes up to the ceiling. Frogs, you can face the floor and have a cushion for both the knees, or take it on your back and have your feet against the wall. Lots of different things for your last hip opener. Get yourself settled in. Make your feet part of your pose, whichever pose or variation you're in right now. Feet and toes awake, participating. Your heels participating. So in a seated wide leg fold, it would be pressing the center of your heels away from your body. Frogs with the feet on the wall, press your heels into the surface of the wall. Add longer inhales, longer exhales, nice and loud. Yeah, there it is. It takes work. It takes work to have the 4-part breath all the way to the end of the practice. It's easier in the beginning where you're burning off a little excess energy. Here, where things are deeper, things are held longer, that's when the breath really matters. A little while longer here. Slowly make your way out of your pose. Seated single leg extension. Right leg out, left heel in towards your thigh. Hinge forward. Long, steady breath. Maybe even longer exhales than inhales now at this point in your practice. And then you can adjust where the breath is happening and where your lungs are expanding the most to accommodate you being folded forward. Switch sides. Feet and hands. What are your feet and hands doing? Awesome breath, everyone. Keep that going. Seated forward fold, both legs straight out. Melt over your legs. You can keep a long flat back and work the muscles in your back, or round your spine and work the connective tissue around your spine. Tabletop or reverse plank. Plant your palms behind your hips. Bent knees with flat feet on the floor for the tabletop, and then long legs, point your toes at the floor for reverse plank. Breathe right here. Slow and smooth, rather than wondering when this pose is going to be over because you don't like holding it for a long period of time. Last breath in. Lower down. Fish pose. You can stick a block between your shoulder blades or tuck your hands underneath you. If you're using the block, make sure it's far enough up your back that it's not poking you in the low back. If you're tucking your hands underneath you, just scoot them under your butt until the top of your head comes to the floor. Eyes stay wide open. See what you see. One more breath in. Big exhale out. Untuck your hands, come down off your block. Inversion time. However you want to get upside down, go for it. On your back with your legs in the air for waterfall. Shoulder stand with your hands on your low back. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So there's lots of different pieces and parts that you can put your attention on. Pick one thing to keep your attention locked into this inversion, regardless of the inversion. Yeah, nice and slow. Using the center of your body to generate the movement. Headstands and handstands. You've got another breath or two, and then child's pose. Shoulder stands to plow. Long legs behind you in your plow. Let them settle. Plow to deaf yogi. Bend your knees, hug them around the sides of your head. Round your spine. Let it reach and stretch towards the front edge of your mat. And slowly lower down piece by piece. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Supine twist. Drop the knees to the right, twist and look to the left. Heavy bones. Supine twist, opposite way. Supta Baddha Konasana. One last time. Press the soles of the feet to touch. You've got your cold eye towel at the upper corner of your mat if you're in studio. Shavasana. Stretch out your legs, stretch out your arms, take up space. Take one last breath in through your nose. Fill yourself up and up and up. Exhale it out. Let your entire body rest easy on your mat. Deepen your breath. Bring some movement back to your hands and your feet. And plant your feet on the floor and rock onto your right side. With your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. We'll finish up practice together with 3 final ohms. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Big exhale out. Thumb knuckles to forehead center. Thank you all so much for taking the time to come into the studio and get up to something with me tonight. Namaste. Good work, everybody. It is good to be back, and you can have me again tomorrow at 4 p.m. if that fits into your schedule, and again on Wednesday at noon. So hopefully I will see you soon, and have an awesome rest of your night.